everybody, I'm Sally Farrell.
And I'm Burgon.
And we are your listing specialists. And today we're going to be doing something special. We're going to go through the first 4 steps of getting your home listed for sale.
Yep, so first of all, please subscribe to our channel. That way you can get future videos that we do because we're going to keep on bringing value to you guys. And so once we go through, or at any point, feel free to click below and get a PDF copy of our guide.
Yeah. So like I said, we're going to go through the first 4 steps. And the first step is...
So the first step is determining your needs.
Right. So we'll have a consultation with you. And we'll go through things like what your timing is. How quickly do you need to sell? Where are you going to go? What the pricing will be. How we communicate, how you communicate, the condition of your home. All of those things that we're going to take into account we will take care of in that first consultation.
Right. Yes. So a lot of people call that the listing presentation consultation. We like to call it the listening consultation because that's where we will maybe ask a few questions, but really we need to listen to what you have to say and what your needs are, and we will tailor our listing efforts to your needs.
Exactly, yeah. And one of the things we will talk about, aside from your needs, how quickly you need to go, all those things, we're going to talk about your home and its marketability. So one of the best ways I think to do that is to find out what you liked about the home.
Right, yes. Yeah, and that can include things like even the location. It doesn't have to be house specific, but things that you loved about living there specifically.
Because chances are if you purchased that home for some reason, you've been living there, there's a reason you bought it, so there's going to be a reason that a buyer will see.
Right.
Yeah, as well. So we're going to talk a lot about that. And then the other not so fun part, but we need to be aware of any issues. So it's important that you disclose to us what you know about the home. Mm-hmm. There are some things that you have to disclose to a potential buyer, so we need to know what those things are. There are some things you can disclose to us that we can keep to ourselves. But it is important to have that conversation about the home, about your financial situation, those types of things. So the first consultation will cover all of that.
Yes. So now we're at step 2. We've had the initial consultation, and now we are going to talk about actual marketing strategy and developing a pricing strategy for your home.
Right, so this is something we're going to work on together. Of course, we will bring our expertise. We will be able to do a market analysis to find out what other homes have sold for and analyze that information to see how your home would stack up to the competition.
Right.
Yep. And what we're going to look at are physical characteristics of your home, obviously, but also
market conditions.
Market conditions,
and market conditions are important because if we're in a fast-moving market with a lot of buyers and low inventory, it's going to be a completely different pricing strategy than if we have a lot of inventory and fewer buyers. So, definitely market conditions play in a big factor, and this is probably an okay time to interject that pricing, it's all so important to me because who determines the price of your house?
Me? No. The buyer.
Yes. So we may think it's going to be a certain price. You may think it's going to be a certain price. And our goal is to get you as close to what the buyer is going to think is a fair price for your house, because ultimately the selling price is not what I say or Sally says or you say, but what a buyer is willing to offer for your house.
Exactly. So we try to figure that out. And so like I said, we're going to do a market analysis.
Yeah.
We'll try to use all that, the science part of it as well, but we will discuss with you and come up with a price together.
Right.
And like you said, we were talking about the market being an important factor.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important to remember that pricing a home too high is really risky. I know a lot of people in other, if you purchased a home or sold a home in a different kind of market, that might have been a good strategy.
Right.
But in this market, things buyers are just so aware so quickly of what's going on that if you price a house too high, they're going to see that price, they're going to know it's too high, and they're going to move right along to the next house, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a very knowledgeable buyers base out there now.
Yeah.
Ever since the last big market adjustment, people know there's information out there everywhere, so you can't really get away with pricing your house like, oh, I think we can get that anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So really, it's not rocket science. Really, you want to be able to price the home correctly so that buyers are attracted to it. You want to be able to have the home exposed to as many of those ready and willing buyers as possible. And if you have those two things down, then you get your home sold.
Yes.
Moving on to step number 3, which I guess all the steps are really fun, but this one's a fun one for us because step number 3 is getting your home on the market and getting it exposed to as many buyers as possible, right? So this is where we start the marketing.
Yeah.
And you and everyone else in the world at this point, they find the homes online, right? And we know that there's a lot of different platforms out there to market the home on. But I think what we have is kind of fun because there's 2 of us and we do our marketing. Deanna has one way of doing her marketing.
Yes.
I have another way of doing my marketing. And we'll take one listing and we'll
independently market it. And we can each watch the stats and see how they're performing. And if we need to quickly pivot and switch, we can do that. And essentially we're reaching 2 whole different spheres, but yet coming together. So
Exactly.
yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah, it is really fun. So we do take a look at those analytics to make sure that if we do need to adjust, like different demographic or different areas, that sort of thing, we can do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That naturally brings us into our step 4, which is implementing a customized marketing plan, which is sort of what we talked about a little bit in step 3. But step 4, what do we put out to the world?
Exactly.
How do we do that?
Is it? Yeah. So we think it's really important, and we just don't think it's really important. It's been proven.
Yes. Yes.
That it's very important because people have so much information coming at them that if we're going to put photographs out there, if we're going to put information out there, it's got to look really nice.
Right.
So we always use professional photographs. Always. We have a stager on our staff. Carrie Butler, Haven Interiors. She's awesome.
She's really awesome.
She will always do a consultation with a buyer. Sometimes we can just go into your home and she can consult with what needs to be. She saves people a lot of time.
She does.
Right? She can tell you, what to edit, what to move, what you can do with your own stuff. If it's a vacant home or a home that really needs help, we can take that one step further and talk about actually staging the home, which we think is really important.
Right.
But anyway, we want to make the home look as great as possible, beautiful photos, so that when people see it online, it stops them in their tracks.
Yes. Yes, and when they come into the house, they can see themselves living there instead of seeing you living there. They can imagine themselves. So I like to say it needs to be sort of like a hotel room.
Yeah.
So when you go into a hotel room, you feel welcome there. You feel like you can put your stuff there and feel good. That's kind of the same exact thing you want in a house. Go in, you're looking at it, you can picture yourself and your family or whoever there instead of the people who are currently living there.
It's clean and bright and comfortable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And another thing we do that I think is unique is we do offer different sorts of video marketing as well, depending on the home.
Right. Yep. And so we do anything from 360 video tours, which are virtual online tours, essentially a 24/7 open house type of thing, to actually doing a movie of your house and through that showing sort of the character. If a house really offers up a story, we'll take that story and put it into an actual movie.
Yeah, people love it. And of course, we'll do the typical signs. You got to have a yard sign. You just do.
Yes.
Gorgeous flyers and printed marketing materials are really important for open houses
Right.
and that sort of thing. Or when agents bring people into your home, people love to have something to hold on to with pictures on it. They just love
Yes.
that. So we'll definitely have gorgeous printed materials for you, and which brings us to open houses as well.
Yeah. And open houses are a great way to not only invite neighbors who are always curious and sometimes are the ones who bring your buyer because they know people who want to live in their neighborhood, right? So there are sometimes, people say, just the nosy neighbors came by. But you know what? It's awesome marketing because they know people who want to live in their neighborhood.
Yep.
So we love open houses.
And neighbors.
And neighbors, we do. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so once, of course, all of these efforts kind of happen really quickly. You know, as soon as we get the home on the market, we make sure that, it gets out on there, all this stuff gets out there for people to see as soon as possible. But if the house doesn't sell in the first week or whatever, we continue these efforts throughout the listing until we get a solid offer on your house and get that thing sold.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's our job.
That's right.